Hello, everyone. It's Debra Hamilton. Thank you so much for coming to the MAAP program. It's a 30-minute tutorial webinar. It's going to help you decide how to care for your pets. I'm sorry if I'm a little fuzzy. Let me see if I can fix that. That's much better. I'm actually en route to New Haven. I'm going to a conference, and I didn't want to miss the conference or the MAAP program, so now I'm parked in a parking lot, and I'm going to give you all this great information today. I'm Debra Hamilton. I am the principal at Hamilton Law and Mediation, and this MAAP program is my heart program. I give this every month because if you've been here before, great. If you haven't, you'll hear this story for the first time. In 2013, I broke my ankle, and I had 9 dogs. I realized that all those plans I made with my friends and colleagues in the dog show world, because I show Irish setters and long-haired dachshunds, those beautiful red dogs with long legs, and those beautiful, well, I had red dogs with short legs, and I had 9 of them. And everyone who I had a glass of wine and said, I'll take care of your dogs, you take care of my dogs, couldn't take care of them. One of my friends had broken her wrist about 2 weeks before I broke my ankle, and the other one was renovating her kennel. So there was nobody but my family to take care of my dogs. Now, my family loves my dogs, and my family knows how to take care of my dogs. But you know what? They really wanted to take care of me. And the problem was that in taking care of me, they were exhausted when it came to taking care of my dogs. So for me, I realized that this was not the optimum care plan or package that I wanted for my dogs. So while I was laid up for 8 weeks, I made really good use of the time and wrote the first permutation of this program, which was, I'm not dead yet, because most of us make our plans for our pets in our wills. And I now give lunch and learns to high-powered trust and estate law firms because they don't know how to do it. That's the biggest secret. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to plan for the care of their clients' pets if their clients haven't died. And most of them have their clients feel as if their pets are well taken care of if their plans for their pets are in their will. So the reason I called the first program I'm Not Dead Yet was because no one knew that if they didn't die, all the plans they made for their pets didn't come to fruition. I used to say, if you watch me a few times on these MAAP programs, you'll find out I'm a little irreverent. I used to say to people who would walk up to me and say, you know, Debra, great program, but I have everything in my will. And I said, well, that's good. I'm glad you know you're going to die, because unless you die, all those plans you make in your will doesn't matter a hill of beans. So today we're going to talk about traveling with your pet. And the reason I'm doing that is because a lot of us do travel with our pets. And in this day and age, it's a lot more difficult than it used to be because people feel empowered to take their dogs places because dogs are allowed to go. Some people are having them certified as service animals because they alert for diabetes or epilepsy or something, or they have them as emotional support animals and want to bring them to different places. So that's one piece of the puzzle that you're going to have to figure out. The other piece of the puzzle is if you take your dog with you and you stay somewhere, leaving the dog in the car could result in you being charged with animal abuse. I kid you not. We just had an incident at a dog show in Upper New England, and it was a cold day. It was maybe 60 degrees, and the police came and knocked on the hotel door in the evening of one of the exhibitors saying that they had had a report that their van had been left alone for hours and that the dogs were in distress in the truck. Well, it turned out the truck had just gotten there. It was only there about a half hour. And the dogs were no more in distress than you and I. They had just been pottied. They had just gotten water. They all were sleeping soundly when they broke into the van to see where the dogs were and how they were doing. And it really was a scary, scary incident. So if you happen to go to Starbucks and you park your car and you leave your dog in your car with your windows rolled down, sort of like my windows here, just a little bit, you could have somebody call the police and have them take your dogs. So why I bring this up with the MAAP program is because the MAAP program has to go with you everywhere. I just wrote an article for Canine Chronicle called The New Normal. I hope all of you will read it, even if this is a later, watching of this MAAP recording. Go to Canine Chronicle for November 2017 and read the article, The New Normal. Because we really do, as pet owners, have to recognize that people feel obligated to step in if they feel our pets are not in a safe situation. Now, we all might define that differently, but knowing that people might step in will give you proactive ability to make sure that if they want to step in, they can get you. So the MAAP program is a program that enables you to sit down and make that plan you've been meaning to make forever and ever and ever. We don't do it. At the end of this program, I'll tell you how to sign up to do our really inexpensive MAAP Blueprint program where I help you step by step by step. You get me 30 minutes every month to answer all your questions, and I'll let you in on a little secret. I stay on the phone until everyone's question is answered. So if it's 45 minutes, if it's 60 minutes, even if it's 90 minutes, I'm still on the phone because people have questions about how they're going to find the caregivers, how they're going to describe their pets, how they're going to set up their plan. And I want to make sure I'm there to help them. Because if I don't have the answer, I find the answer out. Because it's very important to me that all of you know how to plan for the care of your pets. So, if you're traveling with your pets, you need to take your MAAP plan with you because MAAP stands for make a plan, address the needs of your pets, appoint caregivers, and publish. So when you take your MAAP plan with you, you are publishing that plan with whomever is going to be there in the event you need help caring for your dogs. Now, none of us want to foresee that something might happen to us on the road. Somebody may hit our car. We may be injured. And the other day, there was a gentleman yesterday who kids were throwing rocks off overpasses, and he passed away. What happens when the police and the ambulance come and you have your dog in the car? Well, the dog goes to animal care and control unless there's someone in the car who has survived who can take the dog with them, or you have that MAAP plan in your car with you, because then they will see there is a MAAP plan. And what I always tell my participants in my MAAP Blueprint is you have to have the ability for people to find this plan easily. If you're home and you faint dead over in your kitchen, the EMTs who are going to come and the police are going to be able to find it easily if you use the form that we have you fill out and put up in conspicuous places so that people can find it. Same thing in your car. If you have your pet in your car, I mean, whoever brings your pet's information in the car with them when they're going down to the dog run, when they're going down to Starbucks, when they're going to the grocery store and it's a beautiful, cool day and the dog's been stuck in the house all day and you want to bring the dog with you, who brings this stuff with them? No one. No one. But in this day and age, with animal rights and animal welfare people, to their credit, they really want to take care of our pets. To their benefit, we really need to be proactive about making sure we are able to provide the information needed so the police aren't called, so our car isn't broken into, and God forbid, if our dogs are loose in the car, our dogs getting out and getting lost, or worse, getting hit by a car. I know this may be like gloom and doom. You know what? There was a video on YouTube about a Springer Spaniel van with a bunch of Springer Spaniels in it from a specialty, a big dog show. For those of you who aren't dog show people, the big dog shows have specialties, and everybody who has a certain breed of dog goes. So this was a Springer Spaniel, and one of the dogs was in a beautiful wet coat, to keep its coat nice and flat. But it was loose in the car because it probably was very well behaved and didn't chew up the seats, which of course is something that naughty puppies do. I have one. So they opened the door to the van, and this dog could have come flying out of the van into a parking lot, out into the street, and possibly gotten hit by a car. Thankfully, it didn't. But these are things that we need to provide for, and that's why the MAAP plan is so essential for you to not only make and keep at home, but make and keep with you. And we go through exactly how you set up the trail, the rabbit trail, the breadcrumb trail, that's it, that people can go through so they can find out what it is you want to do with your pet. So you're going to make a plan, and that plan is going to set forth, well, if something happens to me, I want my pets to go here, I want my pets to be taken care of this way, I want my pet to be returned home, I want my pet to be given to someone else, I want my pet to go to the kennel and stay there till I get better. Whatever it is that you want, unless you write it down, and unless you publish it, and unless you fund it, and unless you tell the person who's supposed to get the pet in the event you can't take it, it's not going to happen. It's a nice to have, not a got to have. So if you have nice to haves that you don't really care, then the MAAP plan is not for you. It really isn't. It's just way too specific. And that's fine because, you know, people do rise to the occasion and take people's dogs. I've talked to several people at programs that I'm giving that have said, well, you know, my aunt died and I took her cat. I didn't want her cat, but I took it because nobody else wanted it. And you're right, people come to the aid of their countrymen. However, would you like to leave that to catchers catch can, or would you like to leave it to somebody who you know is going to treat the dog the way you treated the dog, or treat the cat the way you treated the cat? Or their situation, this person who's going to take your dog or cat, hasn't changed. You should check in. You schedule a review of this MAAP plan every year to make sure the people who you want to take care of your pets are still able to do it. People lose their jobs. They don't necessarily call everybody up and say, by the way, I lost my job, I can't take your dogs, because it isn't happening. It hasn't happened yet. So they're not going to call you. But you might be relying on them, and then if something, God forbid, happens, they can't take it. I'll tell you a story. So one of my young dogs was with a friend of mine in Maryland out in the field running around. And after years and years and years of my harping on make a MAAP plan, make a MAAP plan, make a MAAP plan, she did. She did before she left for Africa because the State Department told her that she shouldn't go to Africa and she might be killed. And so she decided that, well, maybe if she never comes back, she should make a plan for the dogs going forward without her. Well, thankfully, she came back and everything was fine. She had a great time in Africa. But 8 weeks ago, she broke her ankle. And as she was laying on the ground with a dislocated ankle, torn ligaments, and a broken tibia and fibia, she actually said she started to say, thank God, thank God, thank God. And the guy who was with her in the field with the young dog who had tripped her and had her break her ankle, he said, what are you saying thank God, thank God, thank God for? She goes, I have a MAAP plan. I have a MAAP plan. I know exactly what to do to make sure these three dogs who are with me here in the field are going home. And then who's going to take care of those 3 dogs while I'm in for surgery, while I'm recuperating, while I'm doing this, that, and the next thing? I know where these dogs are going to go because I made a MAAP plan. She actually wrote about that in our breed newsletter, our monthly newsletter, because she said if you've never thought about it, if you've just decided that over a glass of wine, Susie and Mary and Ann are going to take your dogs, great. But Susie, Mary, and Ann don't know how you want your dogs cared for. They know you took really good care of your dogs, and they know they'll take really good care of your dogs, but will it be the way you want? The other piece of information that people overlook all the time is advising your veterinarian and your attorney of the people who you've appointed to take care of your pets. Because if your attorney doesn't know that Susie Smith is supposed to be taking care of your pets, then if she takes care of your pets and incurs some expense for food or veterinary care, she doesn't necessarily get reimbursed because she's not on the list. How does he know? How does he know that she was supposed to do it? The same holds true for your veterinarian. Now, some of you might not know this, but your veterinarian is supposed to, by law and by veterinarian code of ethics, sort of like an attorney who has to send an engagement letter before they can work for you. Veterinarians have to have an owner-veterinarian relationship before they can treat a pet. So if your dog goes to the veterinarian with someone who is clearly not the owner because they're not listed as the owner, the veterinarian is within their rights, and really I advise them they should not care for the dog because they might not get paid. If somebody brings your dog to the veterinarian, maybe not all of you because you're here and you want to take care of the pet, so it might not be you that would tell the vet, go whistle a happy tune because I'm not going to pay your bill because I wasn't there to approve the care that this person asked you to give my pet. The veterinarians might not get paid. And I said to them, you really need to make sure that either you list all the people who might possibly at any time bring this pet in, or you really need to not service someone who brings a pet in who you don't know. Well, for two reasons. One is they don't have permission from the owner to treat the pet. They may get in trouble for treating a pet not with the owner's permission. And two, somebody might bring a pet in and have it treated in a way that the owner didn't want it to be treated because they think this is the best thing for the pet, and that's not really what the owner wanted. So there are so many reasons why making a MAAP plan is not just for when you die or when you get sick. I think most people on this call are over 21, and if you aren't, bravo, you're making a plan way before any other person is making a plan, and you are the smartest person in the room because we don't have a crystal ball. I really wish we did. And that I could be here when I was 70, which is 10 years from now. I really wish that would happen. I'm hopeful, but I'm not so sure that that is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I know where I am right now. I'm with all of you. I'm helping you decide whether or not you want to join us in the next MAAP Blueprint program, which is, it's a revolving program, so it starts at any time. I used to say, well, you have to start with the M, and now I realize you don't have to start with the M. It's helpful because, you make a plan and then everything else is an offshoot of the make a plan. But we go through it so quickly I guess it's about 8 or 9 weeks that we go through the entire program, so you have this done in 8 weeks, not like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Yep, I'll do it tomorrow. No, you know that you're going to meet with Deborah and you want to have at least questions to ask or things done or learn about the new tidbits that Deborah's going to give you so that you can build them into your MAAP program so you have the most current MAAP program. So it's a no-brainer to join and be part of the program. But in making this plan, you give yourself a sense of comfort. Your dogs, your cats, your birds, your horses, don't even start me on the horses because nobody makes a plan for the horses. It drives me nuts. But I am on a mission to make a plan for the horses because unfortunately people will send horses to the farm out in the country. And that used to be code for euthanasia in dogs. Not so much now, but it definitely is code for euthanasia for horses. And now with so many horses being euthanized, you really do need to make a plan for your horses, your dogs. How about your parrot? Oh, goodness. Have I frozen? Oh, there, I did. How about your parrot? Oh, what's happening here? Hold on a minute, guys. Don't go anywhere. I think I'm okay. Let's see. Yes, I'm back. I'm not back. Phooey. There we go. So I'm going to move my internet right here so that it doesn't go wonky, and it's going wonky, and I don't know why it's going wonky, but we'll figure this out. So anyway, you really want to make sure that your pets are not subject to the whims of someone else. If you're injured, they're going to be subject to the whims of someone else, but if you leave a directive, it's the whims of someone else as directed by you. So their whims are limited. They can't do what you'd want them to do. I always tell this story, and it broke my heart when I first heard about it, and it still breaks my heart. A woman came to my 3-day MAAP program, so she did the intensive, and She made her MAAP plan, and she, oh, come on, let's go. Come on, this is ridiculous. I know you're here. What's going on? Sorry, guys, I apologize. This portable seems to be having a moment. Let's see. I'm going to put it up here, maybe. Does that work? So she, oh, there we are. So she passed away after surgery unexpectedly, and someone came in, a good friend, asked her husband if she could place the dogs, and so he said sure, because he didn't know she had made a MAAP plan. She never told him. Never told him. She put it in the drawer. She never told him. So this woman placed all of these dogs who were co-owned with other people who had already said they would take the dogs if something happened to her. But when these co-owners came to pick up their dogs, the woman said, oops, so sorry, they're in great homes and I'm not telling you where. So imagine if you had co-owned a dog and you knew that if something happened, you would be taking that dog back, willingly, wanting to. And when you come to take that dog, the dog isn't there to be taken because someone has placed it. It really is very difficult. It was a very difficult situation, and the co-owners called me, but this person totally refused to give them any information, and it would be really expensive for them to track these people down. So they had to trust that their dogs were in good homes, but that wasn't what this woman wanted. So she'd made the MAAP plan, but she didn't publish it. So we started off today by talking about traveling with your pet and bringing even a modified MAAP plan with you, which would include your vet's name, your caregiver's name, the person to call. If you're leaving your pet in the car to go get your nails done, which I did, and I was a wreck the entire time. Even though they were in crates, even though they were under a tree, even though the windows were open, I was afraid a Good Samaritan would walk by and say, oh my God, these dogs have been left unattended, probably for hours, and I need to call the police. It really is something we have to, as pet owners, be aware of. I'm not criticizing anyone. I just think we need to be aware of it. So if you come to the MAAP Blueprint program, I'm going to share my screen now so that you can see what it is. Okay, this is what we're sharing. Ah, there it is. Share screen. It's not coming up. Maybe it's because the internet is not working as well as I would like. So now I'm nowhere. Now I'm nowhere. Oh, I'm spinning. Phooey. Oh, phooey. Phooey, phooey. I'm hoping that you can still hear me, and maybe you can. I can see me, but I can't hear me. I'm sorry, everyone. This Best Laid Plans of Mice and Men, there we go. So here's my shared screen, and I just want to tell you that the MAAP Blueprint program is what you might want to consider if you want to finish up and make a plan that's going to work for you. It really is an inexpensive way to make sure you do what you need to do for your pets, because quite frankly nobody's going to do it, and you're not going to be able to figure out how to do it without some guidelines. Don't you want the templates? Don't you want the things that are going to make it easy for you to make this program and this plan a reality? So join us. It really is incredibly inexpensive. I'm not doing the YouTube, so I'm trying to actually move down the screen here because that's what I want to do. Let's see if I can do that. So for all of you, it is 3 payments of $57, which you can't see an attorney and talk about a plan for your pet for 3 payments of $57 anywhere. But if you pay up front, then the payments are $147 fully, all in $147. I know this is supposed to be a 30-minute webinar, and I don't want to keep anybody over that time, but I want to stress that we really need to take the time to prepare for traveling with our pets, to prepare for leaving our pets behind, because even if we're traveling and we're not taking our pets with us, have we for improvement? Yay, we're back. Yay, thank you so much. Yeah, I know I'm just, it's always fun. It's always an experience. But you always want to make sure you're prepared, because that's why your pets will be cared for, because you're prepared. So I'd love for you to join us. As I said, the MAAP plan is a revolving program. There is no start, no finish. You just pay 3 payments of $57 or 1 payment of $147, and you get to talk to me 5 times. We meet 5 times, 4 times for every letter, MAAP, and then S, which is wrap up and schedule review, because we always want people to review the plan they've made, because people's plans change. People's ability to take animals change. There's a new normal out there, everyone, and if we don't plan, I give this talk all the time to rescues, especially to Rottweiler and Pit Bull and horse rescues, because if people don't make plans, and those dogs end up again in rescue, so you've rescued a pet from a rescue, and it's one of those less adoptable kinds of dogs, you are really putting that dog's life in jeopardy if you don't make a MAAP plan. And joining us for the blueprint will help you navigate the journey your pet takes when you can't care for it. I know it's a catchy tune. I know it's a catchy statement. It's what I use, you know, the MAAP plan, navigate the journey your pet takes when you can't care for it. Well, guess what? If you don't navigate that journey that your pet takes, it may take a journey you're not really happy about it taking. It might go to someone you don't want it to go to. It might go to a shelter. As I sign off, it's 3:30. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm gonna see if I don't know where I can see questions, but they should be here. If you see any questions, Rose, do me a favor and text me so I can answer them, because I can't see them. I don't know exactly what's going on. But if anybody, I'm going to unmute everyone. How's that? So I'll unmute everyone. If you have a question, please feel free to ask me the question. I would appreciate it, because I know that I can't cover everything. So now everyone is unmuted. If you have a question, ask me, because I'm here to help.
Deborah, it's Rose.
Hey, Rose, how are you?
I'm good. In the chat box, there's a question that says, where do you keep the map in the car when you're traveling with your pet?
Great question. So I would always keep it in the little slot that they have now, right by the door. And I would have a card on my dashboard that says, in the event I'm involved in an accident, directions for the care of my pets that are in this car are in the red envelope on the driver's side door, the blue envelope on the passenger side door, in the glove compartment. What you need to do is you always need to have something that's very visible, very short, to the point. If I'm injured, the plan for my pets who might be in the car with me is in the glove compartment. The plan for my pets that are in the car with me are attached to their crates. The plan, I mean, I talk to handlers all the time to say to them, you really need to talk to your owners about what would happen if something happened to you. And they don't have all that information. It drives me nuts. I mean, I had a dog with a handler. He had no information about what to do with my dog if, in fact, something happened to him. And how stupid was I? But that was before I broke my ankle, so now I'm much smarter. You know, they say we get wiser with age. I am wiser with age. So if you have it in the car, you need to have something that's clearly visible. Might be on your visor, but that wouldn't be so clearly visible. You might have a tag dangling from your rearview mirror. You could have something on your dashboard or on your somewhere, so that you can have someone find it, so that they can locate it. Any other questions? Well, I hope you join us for the MAAP Blueprint program. It really is inexpensive. It is just so important for all of you to make the plan. I hope I've given you enough information now. What about at home? Okay, thank you. I will tell you what about at home. So at home, oh, there's the chat box. Now I see it. There we go. So when you're at home, what you want to do is have it on a door into the house. So if you've fallen down, keeled over in your home, whatever door that EMS might come into, and if there's 2 of them, put them on both the doors and then put them on the fridge. And again, what you want to do is have it say, if something happens to me, the plan for my pets is here. And, have it on the counter or have it in a drawer that's easily accessible and have a little arrow, pet plan here, because they can't look for it. You might actually just put a card up on the refrigerator or on the window of the back door or on the glass door of the front door and say, if for any reason my dogs need to be removed from the house because I've been injured or hurt, here's the number to call, and give them two. Don't give them one, give them two. And two different people, not the two of the same person, because you know what? That person might be busy or that person might be with you. I've had people who said, well, I'll just give them my husband's number. I said, so do you travel with your husband? And they go, well, yes. I said, well, his number is useless. I said, because he might be traveling with you, and if you get hurt, your husband's go to the hospital. He's not going to take care of the dog. I know we'd like to think that. I love my husband. I love my sons. And they're not taking care of my dogs if I'm in the hospital. They're going to see me. So you really need to make sure you have a plan that works for everyone. Are there any other? I've now been able to open the chat box so I can see if you have any more questions. I don't see any more questions. I hope you join us. As I said, it's a revolving program, $147. You can't go out for a good dinner for $147 anywhere. I don't care if you live in the Northeast, South, or West. But you'll have 5 weeks, at least 2.5 hours with me. Which attorney gives you 2.5 hours for $147? None. And I will help you make sure you get it done. That's my mission in life. I want to help you get her done. It's that comedy crew that says, get her done, get her done. Your pets are really depending on you to make this plan. You can do it yourself. That's absolutely fine. Just follow the 4 letters. Make a plan, appoint caregivers, address the needs of your pet, and publish. But I can tell you, if you join us on the Blueprint, there are so many additional things that I cover that most people go, holy crap, on a stick? I did not think of that. I go, yeah, I know. That's because I've been doing this now since 2014, and in those 3 years, I have been asked so many questions, and I've had so many people have things come up that have just really rocked their world. And so I've adjusted my program, like the woman who was in the parking lot at the dog show and had the police called. So really, cutting-edge information, cutting-edge preparation. So you guys have a great afternoon. I'm sorry.
Debra, before you go, there's a question about whether the Blueprint or the plan includes creating a trust.
Absolutely. What a great question, and it just came up, and I'm so glad that P. Nostrin put it up there. Yes, we do talk at length about making a pet trust. I do not make the pet trust, but what I do is I give you all the information so you can then go and teach your attorney what kind of pet trust you want, because you want a pet trust outside of your will, and you really want to make a pet trust that's not rolling in the dough, because you want to make it, if you're over 60, irrevocable. Now, I had an attorney on a geriatric call that I did who said, well, why would you want to make it irrevocable? You want to get that money back. You might not have pets when you're 70. Well, that's true. You might not have pets when you're 70. But if you get sick, that money is subject to invasion if it hasn't been irrevocable for 5 years, because it's really important to make sure that that money is safely put away for 5 years so that Medicaid, I think it's Medicaid, could be Medicare, I never can get those two right, can't invade it. Trusts that are seen as shelters for your money, which this could be, a pet trust, that are not irrevocable, will be pulled back into your basket of money, and so the money you set aside for your pet may not be there. Only when you die does that money go into the pet trust, and if you're not dead, that money doesn't. So you really want to be able to move money into your pet trust while you're alive. If you need to, you'll appoint somebody to do that, but you want to make the money in your pet trust irrevocable so that that money stays earmarked for the care of your pets. Does that answer your question? Does the plan include creating a trust? Phil Judith writes, oh, hi, Phil. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So I hope I've answered your question. And you have to make it, Phil, if you're married to Judy, then over 21, I know that. So you have to make it irrevocable for the pets, because you want to make sure that whatever money, even if it's a small amount, like $500, I mean, the people who are taking your pets should not be taking it for the, big cash cow they're going to get when they're taking care of your pets and all the money they're going to get. So you want a small amount in the event the pets need to be taken care of, and then you can instruct your attorney to add more money as needed, because once it's irrevocable, then it's irrevocable, and that money is for those pets that cannot be taken. I hope that answers everyone's questions. I hope you join me. If you can't join me, share this with somebody else who might really need to make a plan for their pet. I look forward to seeing you guys at the next round of Blueprint 5 meetings. You can ask more questions. You have a great afternoon, and thank you so much for being here. And by the way, give your pet a kiss for me, because I think you are just stupendous that you came here today, spent 39 minutes with me, some of which were technically difficult, and made that effort to decide whether or not you're going to make a written plan for your pets. In this day and age, I think that we all need to, so our pets don't end up in a place that we didn't intend. Have a great afternoon. Everybody enjoy, and kiss your pet for me. Bye now.